ads are going, though. We don't want that. You know, my homies hate ads. Me and all my homies hate ads. Okay, YouTube. What is my storage looking like? How many gigs of stream VODs? I have 300 gigs of stream of video. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, so I was gonna do a bit of a refactor. And I kind of started some of it already this morning. But I want to move some of this functionality into its own class. Now, I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted all the biome stuff in like its own like actor, or maybe just its own object, or maybe a component. I have, what we're looking at now is the world map class, which is an actor. I'm wondering if I should make another actor for, like, maybe it's like the biome parent, because I do have biome zone actor as well, but that just kind of holds a single individual biome. So it's almost like I need like a biome controller or something like that. But I don't know if I want it to be like a component or its own thing. I can see reasons for doing both, but I'm not fully certain. So reasons for making the biome stuff its own actor class would be like you can just kind of reference it from anywhere. You can just get actor of class from anywhere. But you could get actor of class for world map, and then the component would be a child of, or this biome thing would be a child of the world map. And that would make sense because the world map and biome stuff are somewhat tightly coupled. They do depend on each other quite a bit, I believe. Yeah, so the world chunk flat biome map is what we would need. Is that the only thing we need, though? Find smallest neighbor index. Yeah, I'm just looking through real quick to see what I use from... So the world chunk flat biome map. This actually, well, it's all created in here. It's all created in the world map. Yeah, so maybe that does kind of lend itself to being a component. It would be easy to access variables from the world map. I'm kind of leaning towards it being a component, I suppose. Let's do it as a component. Biome component. Let's call it biome controller. Biome component, it's fine. It's an actor component. Yes, 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 put that all in there, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And so what were to happen if I were to just copy and paste everything in here? Huh? What would happen? Yeah, so I want that, everything from there. Yeah, all the way to there, essentially, is what I want. replace that with a U biome component. Replace all. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go back into the header file and copy that stuff over as well. Biome component done. Okay. So like the biome zones index stuff, I would want to move over. Probably biome zone actors as well. Minimum biome area and zone entrance chance. Yeah, all these three as well go in there. Okay. And when this is constructed, I will want a reference to a world map. A world map, we'll just do world map, and then whenever this is created, and so I guess it's just the transforms and getting the maps. That I would need to reference from within the map. Endless terrain. Need a reference to endless terrain as well. Okay, let's set that up, and I think I can probably just... Is there a U-Kismet again? Yes, that's what I want. Gameplay statics. Okay, that's where it's at. Okay, it returns an actor, so we have to cast it. Annoying. It's not templated. Okay. Okay, what else do we need? Okay. I saw those. What's wrong up here? Okay, there's I put just the number 1 there for some fucking reason. Cool, cool. Just gonna manually do that one. Noise data. Just get that from endless terrain. World map. Okay, so I feel like that should be everything. Okay, so in world map now, what's wrong here? Handle biome zone creation. And so I will need to have a component in here. Can I get rid of everything? I'll do visible anywhere. Do I want to do that? Sure, why not? Biome component, include that. Biome component, yes, yes, yes. We will create that default. Okay, so we can get rid of endless terrain. Or that. We need noise data. Just for the seed, I suppose. I mean, for that, what do we need it in here for? Okay, we need it in there for quite a bit. Okay, so biome component, do that. Zone border sides at world cord. Does this go in? Does this could go in either one? And to be honest with you, this was just for debugging purposes, so I should probably just make the biome component have a is border chunk function. Let's do that real quick. Is a constructor public? I think a constructor needs to be public, right? Or does it matter? Maybe it doesn't matter. Is border chunk. This will take a F vector 2D, 2dizzle. Create that definition there, and then I will replace that. There we go. Is zone entrance chunk? It should probably belong in here as well. Current coordinate index. Okay, so it needs the index as well. Index. Okay. Update the signature. Okay. So zone entrance chunk. So all the zone entrance, is that biome related stuff? Is that map stuff? And then do I want all this stuff? So the transform functions should probably all stay in here. All these like getters though, I think should go to the biome component. Hey, turning cog. I saw a giant fiberglass moose with wings on my drive home today. Now I need to know what sauce Canadians put on their moose wings. Where do you live? Are you in Canada? That sounds ridiculous. Moose? Meat, or meese rather? Meese are enormous. It's crazy how big they are. You know what I need? I need a plugin that tells me what things need to be private and what don't. Okay, so this one, Wisconsin, it was a truck trailer company logo, or mascot. Yeah, that's so extra. That's just not even necessary. These ones actually... Got all the hardware I need to upgrade to DDR5. Nice! I just did that not too long ago myself. Nice. Yeah, because this is all information about the maps. So this actually seems like something that the world map should handle. I have like a get biome chunk. What CPU did I go with? I got a 7600X. Where is it? Yeah, 7600X. There you go. Is there anything on here I shouldn't be showing? No, I don't think so. I think we're good. You can see my username, I suppose. That's how much was like $300, right? 350 or something like that. Okay, get chunk biome. Yeah, so I can just use this. Which, you know, maybe I'll move that stuff in there as well. Okay, so this class is all happy. Biome component, what are you still upset about? Get chunk play, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna change that back to. Yeah, so getting like the color of a coordinate is definitely a world map type thing. $240 because it was part of a bundle. Interesting. What did it come with? Yeah, I got the 7600X because it came with a free 512 SSD, M.2, and I was like, that's pretty sick. I'll take that deal. The motherboard and RAM, okay. What motherboard did you go with? Okay. It's essentially what I bought as well. Motherboard, RAM, and CPU. I actually ended up getting a new cooler as well because the CPU was running so hot with my old one. And the motherboard I got, like, it underclocked my RAM by default. I was like, what the hell? And so I turned it up to the 6200 or whatever, and then it took literally 10 minutes to boot to get to the post screen. And I thought I had like fucking bricked something. Asus motherboard? Okay. I don't think I've ever got an Asus motherboard. 64 gigs RAM. Nice. Same here. But yeah, there was this setting. I have a MSI motherboard now. And there was this setting I had to enable like memory cache or something like that. And then it booted. You know, like the 20 seconds or whatever. That was a pain in the ass to figure out. Especially because like troubleshooting meant like you had to sit there for 10 minutes while it booted up. Okay, and I should move the biome zone in here as well. And then do I need biome zone actor at all? What the actual fuck? Yeah, that's what I was saying. But it's just like some setting that when you set it to auto, like they all default to like auto, but that one like didn't work. How did I find out that was a problem? Well, other people found out that that was the problem, and I just searched like, because I fucking, like I said, at first when it was taking 10 minutes to boot it, I was just staring at a black screen, so I was like, oh god damn it, like I fucked up the CPU pins or something like that, you know? I didn't put the RAM in right. So I thought it was something like that. But the lights weren't on, right? Like the easy debug lights or whatever they call them. So I sat there for a while on my phone while I was trying to figure out what was wrong. And then it eventually went to post, and I was like, oh fuck. Okay. And so I searched for that, like, such and such motherboard taking forever to post, and then I found people that told me to toggle that thing on. And yeah, the MSI BIOS interface is not biome zone actors. It's not the greatest. But yeah, that was definitely an annoying issue to figure out. Okay, does this compile? No, it does not. Okay, circular dependency though. Biome component includes biome zone actor. Okay, so I just have to forward declare biome zone actor in biome component. Or should I just do this? Or am I still win 10? Hell yeah. Till I die. Till I die. Biome zone actor includes biome component. Does it? Oh, yeah. So I guess I have to for the struct. Okay, so maybe I have to forward declare biome zone actor in here. Endless terrain includes world map, which includes biome component, which includes endless terrain. Okay, so we have to forward declare endless terrain now as well. Jesus. Gotta push files around to free up some space. Typical chores. Yeah, I accidentally didn't plug in one of my drives, so I have to fucking open it back up and plug that in at some point. It's just a backup drive though, no big deal. Yeah, you might as well reformat Windows though. I feel you there. Okay, I need to include spline component. What else? What else do I need to do? When I worked the IT help desk at college, the solution to any Windows problem was to just fucking slap a fucking Windows reformat on it. We did it so much we set up like the little Pixie server to like we could just do it over the network and save save their user files over the network and stuff. It has been acting a fool recently. Yeah, you gotta, typical. It's like mowing your lawn. You gotta do it every so often, or else it starts getting a little wily. Okay, so get border spline for chunk cord. This is gonna be. So I guess terrain chunk. Do you need to get the biome actor? Like mowing the lawn with Roundup. Dude, I used to work at Monsanto. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah, that shit causes cancer though. So careful with that Roundup. I left right about the time it started coming out that some guy in California won a lawsuit against them for giving them cancer. Some farmer. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't really like it here anyways, so I'm gonna go find something different. And that's when I started contracting. Yeah, learned a lot there though. Learned a lot there. This isn't implemented. What? Yeah, it is. Don't lie to me. There you go. Yeah, I should just get it instead of like chaining that around. Okay, so when terrain chunk, whenever you get created, where are you at? We're gonna do a world map. I'll add a forward declaration. Then I want a biome component. Actually, we'll just reference it from the world map. I think that's good. Are you private? Yeah, you're private. I used to manufacture energy drinks. You hit a pallet with a forklift, it eats the concrete. Dude, that's... I don't want to talk about how many energy drinks I used to drink. Oh, it was very, very bad. Very glad I kicked that habit. Yeah, dude, that'll take a paint off the car. You know what I'm saying? You leave it there for too long. Yeah, shit is not good for you. The things we do for jobs, right? The things we do for a job. For other people's peace of mind, I normally keep that shit to myself. Yeah, I mean, if you work at like a fucking slaughterhouse, you know, you don't get to talk about work when you get home. Just kind of how it goes. What is this? Biome zone? Okay, yeah, it needs to be const, that's fine. And then this needs to be const as well, which is also fine. I mean, these all should probably be constant. Alexandra, hey, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a bit. I used to cure sausages too. Oh, dude, I read The Jungle. I don't need to hear about that. Wait, is this a... Oh, it returns a pointer? Yeah, oh, it returns a pointer. Okay, that's why. Good with the classmate. Like you're with a classmate right now? Ex-classmates. Good to hear that you're good. Good is good. You mean friends? Maybe he's not ready. Maybe he's not ready to take that step. Tell your classmates I said hello. Okay, we finally got this to boot after a little refactor here. So yeah, Alexandria, I'll get you caught up on what we've been working on here in a sec. If this is all hunky dory. Okay, play. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, we need to change some of these around, don't we? Okay, show me where it hurt you. Show me where my code hurt you. There it is. Okay. Yes, I move things around. I know it hurts. Okay, hello, please. Wait, what the hell? Oh, did I make that private? Oops, that's why. Get chunk plat. Okay, so yeah, so these all need to be public. Wait, they are. What's wrong here? Get chunk coordinate biome color. Oh no, I changed it to flat color. Aha. It returns a... I can't call toString on here? Wait, what was I doing here? What did this used to be? Oh, in biome component, are they private? No, they're public there. So the rest of these are biome component things now. Get area. Yes. Okay. Num neighbors. And this is all just debugging things to show on my map. Num entrances. What happened to this one though? What did I do? Gotta go, came in to watch. Okay, well thanks for stopping by and saying hello. It's been a while since I've heard from you. I'll watch the past VOD. Yeah, you'll see me figure out the problem I had been working on for like fucking 3 days. Yeah, thanks though, take care. Have a good one. Get chunk coordinate biome color. That is definitely a biome zone sounding thing. Or no, that's a... that's not. That's actually a world map. Did I just do get chunk coord color? Is that what I did? I have color string. Is that what I wanted? I think that's what I wanted. Okay. You compile good now? Okay, let's play. Shit. Pair is not equal to null pointer. What is that saying to me? Okay, yeah, so this is the one I changed. Why don't you like that? And you used to be... Is zone entrance chunk. Hey, you four, how you doing? How's the progress coming? It's good. I fixed the, didn't fix, but I finally solved the big algorithm I was working on. Solved that yesterday, last night, rather. And now I'm doing a bit of a refactor before I continue using these splines for mountains. So just trying to iron out the little kinks of this little refactor here. Biome zone's index map is empty. It's not what I like to see. I'm so happy to have an upgraded system. Yeah, me too. It's very nice. Especially for how much I have to rebuild the engine. Like, it just loads a lot faster, you know? So yeah, there's no biome zones been created. Uh-oh. That's not good. I do create them, though. I mean, this is where I'm adding to that map. Handle biome creation. Happens in the world map. Did you get DDR5? Yep. Yes, I did. Yeah, I do that here. Let's put a breakpoint there to make sure that actually gets reached. But like, why are those empty now then? Okay, that didn't get breached. So, is this happening before I generate the world map? Or am I just not generating the world map? What did I get? Kingston, I think? If I'm remembering correctly. This should all be done by this point. Hang on, hang on. What's happening? Generate world map should happen before anything else. Please build. This is what happens. This is what I get for refactoring. This is why you shouldn't refactor. Ever. Okay, so that does get reached. Okay, so we go in here. Yeah, let's put a breakpoint there. Next, okay. This is empty. World chunk flat biome map is empty. Why is that empty? I literally populate that. World chunk. What was it? World chunk flat biome map. Okay, so there it is, right there. What the hell? What happened? Hmm. We got a couple 4 terabyte drives. Yeah, that'll last you a while. Wait, why the fuck? Why the frick not? Is world map? No. There's no way world map is null, right? One's full already? How much porn do you have on that thing? Jesus Christ, man. Right? I mean, why would that be empty in here? Why can't what? What? Okay, we gotta restart again. Ugh. Porn is still on external platter drives. Oh, okay, okay. Only the clean stuff on the M.2s, huh? Okay. Bro, this has data. This has data. What the heck? And it's public. 3D titties do take up a lot of space, both physically and datally. Okay, so world chunk flat biome map. In the world map, it has data. We can see it. Here's the data. I handle biome zone creation. I come in here. It don't got no data anymore. It's got no data. Num is 0. Do I need to do something like this? Is this how you like it? Picky Unreal Engine. Is tonight a beer kind of night? I kind of feel like it is. Only been hanging out for a couple months and you're already on to my BS. Yeah, the porn, man. It's just, it's an easy call out. It's an easy call out. Okay, now let's go. Okay, go back in here. Go forward. Okay, so now I have. That was the issue. Why wouldn't that work though? I guess it was world map a different instance. Like, someone tell me what the hell is going on here. Like, what in the name of Unreal Engine wonkiness happened there? So, I was assigning these two things in the constructor. Because, you know, that's where you construct things, right? And world map wasn't null. It had an instance. So it's not like get owner was null here. So, I mean, why all of a sudden, because I put it in here, is it fine? Ugh. It works. It works. Yes, yes. I need to open up my map. Does the map look good? The map does look good. Keep that open. Let's check out some splines. Do my splines look good, most importantly? Yeah, I might have a beer tonight, or maybe some wine. I have a nice blood orange pineapple wine, bubbly. Okay, we're looking good there. We're looking good in the fridge right now. That could be nice. But I also have a nice hazy IPA to shoots. Okay, but those all looked good, so I think we're good. Plowing ahead. Let's commit this. Yeah, okay. I don't know why you keep popping up every time I do that. Okay, so makes that wine. It's a Cooper's Hawk wine. Cooper's Hawk is a restaurant. It's a franchise, so there might be one near you. It's like a restaurant that does wine, and they make really nice, good wine. And they make actually really good food as well. It's a little more expensive, but it's very tasty. It's nice. It's nice, like a date night type restaurant. So this is going to be create biome components and border biome border splines. Let's commit that. Push. We have that shit here? You got a Cooper's Hawk over there? It's nice. Have you ever been? Yeah, I know they're not initialized. I guess to get that to go away, you have to set them equal to null pointer, right? To get that linter to go away. Yeah. Okay, so what am I going to do next? I'm going to go into the map generator and make sure that my splines are spline. Wait, do I want to hang on? In biome zone component, do I want to make any changes here? Yeah, because I think I want to show. I mean, I am adding it as an instance component, right? Somewhere. New spline. I mean, I suppose that's fine. I would like it to show up in the UI, though. Hey, Phoenix, how are you? How do you like Writer's version control interface? I tried the VS Code one, didn't like the lack of control compared to the command line. Well, if you're wanting the same level of control as the command line, I'm not sure anything is going to make you happy. But It's got commit, it's got amend, it's got pull. It's all I need. And it's got pull and push. I don't need a whole lot more than that for a command line interface, dude. I haven't written a git command in quite some fucking time. I probably don't even know them anymore. Especially because we don't use Git at Google, right? Fucking Fig and Piper. But we have our like own internal VS Code called Cider. It looks exactly like VS Code. We only just got it like 2 years ago. We're using this like old shitty interface. But yeah. I guess I'm too much of a purist compared to others. Are the Google source controls in-house? Yeah, everything at Google is in-house. Google built everything. They don't use literally, I mean they're too big too, right? Like the problems and the scale that they work in, like it's like, you know, Google invented Kubernetes for companies of that size. I do work for Google, thank you. I think it's pretty dope too. I don't know. It's like, whoops. It's like surprisingly mundane for how cool it sounds. Like I just work in Google Ads. It's not fucking exciting at all. I don't do anything like, the only thing complicated about my job is that it's Google, right? Like the Google infrastructure is fucking complicated to work with. But the actual things that I'm coding and stuff aren't really that complicated. So it's surprisingly stressful for how mundane. Was it hard to get in? Yeah, I won't say it's easy. I worked at Twitter before, so that kind of got my foot in the door, I think. And Twitter was a hot fucking mess. Google is a million times better. And that was pre-Elon Musk. That was back in the Jack Dorsey days that I worked at Twitter, so... Good lord, that was the worst... Twitter was the worst developer experience I've ever worked in. And I before Twitter, I was a contractor I was doing freelancing, so I worked for a bunch of different companies. Very, very small companies, better development experience than fucking Twitter. It's crazy. It's no wonder they get criticized for shipping features slow, or at least they used to. Codebase is a fucking mess. Yeah, so what was I doing here? I still need therapy over working at Twitter. Generate map data. Yeah, so I'm still generating my border stuff here somewhere, right? Yeah, here we go. So I need to, what am I doing? Yeah, I made a subsection to make this more efficient. But yeah, the interview process. I've interviewed at Meta and Microsoft and Google. Meta was probably the hardest. I got an offer from Microsoft, but didn't take it. Google's and Microsoft's were pretty similar, but Microsoft's, you get interviewed by the team that you're like applying to, whereas Google, they just have, it's like a round robin for who interviews you, and then you kind of get placed on a team after you get hired. A little different. Where am I getting this spline? If border spline, where is this coming from? Okay, so I'm passing it all the way in. Do I need to do that? But yeah, it's a gauntlet. Any of those companies, when they interview you, it's like you gotta do at least 4 interviews. It's like a 6-hour process. You just gotta take a day to do it. And of course, it's, you know, you got leak code questions, you got the system design questions. And yeah, it's a fucking slog. You gotta study for it, and it's really stressful to study for that shit, because it's like you'll never have enough time to be fully ready, so you just gotta do as much as you can, take the interview. When I interviewed for Microsoft, I actually didn't fucking study. I was like, I'm not stressing myself out over it. Yeah, Meta's was so hard, because for the coding interview rounds, they had you solve 2 like leak code medium to hard questions in 40 minutes, which means 20 minutes a problem. And at that point, like, you just kind of have to have already seen that specific problem, right? You have to know that problem. You have to kind of remember it and remember what the solution is specifically. Because like usually how you do these interviews is like there's a bunch of tricks for these algorithms and stuff. And if you pick up enough of the tricks, you can kind of like logic yourself through any kind of question, or most questions at least. You know, things like binary trees, linked list, dynamic programming, like greedy algorithms, stuff like that. Like you pick up those things and you kind of get your way through it. But yeah, at Meta, you straight up don't have enough time. And so like for the questions I got at Meta, like yeah, of course I'd never fucking seen them before. I haven't done every elite code question in the world, and I conceptually had the solution, but I didn't have enough time to get it into code really. So I didn't get the offer from Meta. Ever thought about Google using in-house stuff? Most of my knowledge of industry is Microsoft, and most of their stuff is open. Yeah, yeah. Google is all in-house stuff, but like they've opened up a little bit. You know, like Dart and Flutter are Google's things. I work in Angular Dart, so my life is hell. Save me, please. Pray for me. Yeah, I mean, most things they have like a front end, like, you know, all the Google Cloud stuff runs on Borg, which is the internal kind of underlying technology for like Kubernetes and stuff like that. So that's what I interface with. Damn, it sounds fucking hard. Yeah, it's Meta was fucking hard. The other ones were better because how they do it at like Google and Microsoft is like they ask you. You have like an hour with a person for like, or it's like 50 minutes with a person for an interview. And they ask you a elite code question, and it starts easy and it gets harder, right? They'll ask you an easy question and you'll solve it, right? Maybe get an easy elite code easy question in like 10-15 minutes, right? And then they throw more on top. They layer on top of it as they go through the interview. And I think that's a great fucking way to do it. So the question gets harder and harder as you go. They're like, oh, what if you needed it to be sorted? You know, oh, what if the input was like this? You know, they like change it up a little bit, and they I think it's a lot better way to do an interview. It's a little daunting from someone who's been actively applying for jobs. Yeah, like I said, if you just pick up there's a lot of good resources on YouTube for like what things you need to study for elite code questions and stuff. If you pick up enough of them, and most places aren't as picky as Meta, right? So, as long as you're not applying to those places, I think you'll be totally fine. Never tried Angular, but Flutter has been a nice refresh from working in React, I must say. Really? So I'm a React Andy. I love React. So much so that I made my team use an Angular implementation of Redux for one of our new projects. And everyone loves it, by the way. So I'm actually leading a project to refactor one of our older apps to use Redux. Can't even save myself? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Dart as a language is quite nice, though. Angular as a framework, fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Dependency injection, hell. Okay, where was I doing this before I got sidetracked about talking about interviews and shits? Where am I? Oh yeah, no. I don't care about that one. Oh, I said save me. Okay, yeah. We're both drowning together then, it seems. Okay. Oh yeah, and here's proof that I work for Google. That's my badge right there. Yeah, get border spline for chunk coordinates. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Although this should probably be... This might be a problem for the chunks that have 3 points. But maybe we'll just let that problem bite us in the face and not account for it. Because I do kind of want to get some math down here. Oh, there's a puppy dog. Come here. Come here, sweetie. There's a puppy dog. Hello. Can you wave to chat? Hello, chat. Good girl. That's a good girl. She's getting her first dental cleaning on Tuesday. Big day. Are the shirts comfy? This one's quite comfy, yeah. Sundar is nice enough to grace us with free swag every other quarter. Under $100 per person, though. He needs another yacht. Yeah, so what do I want to do? So that's the fall off. Apply zone border mountains. Yeah, so I'm just gonna fuck all this shit up, aren't I? Fall off map value, border map value. Let's rename that real quick. I'm not gonna end up using this anymore, but I am gonna comment it out in case I want to go back to it. And so, conceptually, what do I want to do here? Let's pull out paint. This is a paint type situation. Okay, so we have a chunk chord. I like drawing them in brown because it's a terrain chunk. And I have some points that are going to be on about the middle on each edge. So it can be kind of, sometimes it's just one edge, sometimes it's two, sometimes it can be three. So there can be a mountain like that, right? Let's just do, for the sake of simplicity, we'll do like that. Wait, do I ever have a scenario where, no I don't. No I don't. Okay, so let's just do one. We'll start with one for simplicity. And there's a bunch of vertices in here. 58,000 to be exact. 58,081. And I'm going to have, there's going to be a spline, and there's going to be possibly another chunk over here. Possibly another chunk over here with their own points. And so, what is my, what's my math here? Oh yeah, I get, yeah, I'm definitely going to need to change this. So when I was trying to get the closest point to the spline, so there's going to be a spline that's like running like that. This was like, it was like not letting me start the game because I was doing this for every fucking chunk, for every point, and it has to iterate over every point in the spline to find the closest. So I just do it once I say what's the closest to the center of this chord, and it'll go up here. It'll be like this one right here. I'm like, cool. Give me the next. Give me the next. What do? I do like 0, 1 index points, and then I subsection. I create a new spline where I subsection it. But you can see that's probably going to be an issue. I probably need 3 points, and especially if I'm going to have that kind of a situation. So I'll need to do 3 points, so I will need to change that. But let's get something down here for the math of like how we want this terrain pixels to act. So I already have a height map stored, and I need to edit the height map, the noise map. This is a noise height map. It's a 2D array, and there's a noise map value. And what I'm going to do, that's the coastline fall off, ignore that. So we're going to do it down here. We're going to add, what I was doing before was the border map value, which was a generated fall off map. But here I want to do something based on the distance away, or how close each point is to the spline. And so I'll need like a max distance, and I would like to be able to play with that. So let's put that in a U property, edit anywhere. We can make it blueprint read. I just make everything blueprint read only. Let's do a float for max max border mountain distance from spline. God, that's mouthy. Max border distance. We'll just do that. 1,000? Because a chunk is 12,000. So maybe I'll just do. Maybe I'll do. Let's just do 12,000, because that's about how wide the chunks are. So let's do that. And so I'll want to lerp between 0 and 12,000 for the distance to get a value. And so what I'll also need is like a max height, I believe. Or maybe like a it'll be a multiplier? It'll be a multiplier? It could just be a should it be a multiplier? I think it should be a multiplier. Copilot already knows. Well, it fucked up there. Never mind. Float, border height, multiplier. And let's do. I have 2.5 here, but that's 2.5 times this border map value, which I don't remember what I did for this. Is there any kind of thing in here? I do it based on distance, so I think it's about a chunk in height, because I'm doing it based on the distance from the opposite side, which, like I was saying, was about 12,000. So I think maybe the max was 12,000, which is quite large. That's quite tall. And so the border height multiplier may be something like, I have 2.5, that let's just do 5. Do I just multiply? We'll do 5 first. And yeah, I'll need to lerp this number with that as the alpha, or so I need to do some math to translate the distance, like what percentage of total distance. Let me just kind of like sketch out some stuff here. So I have a noise map value. I also need position. Rather, I need this. I have a y and an x. And so, can I just do like an what am I doing up here? It needs to be a vector 3, right? And so I guess I can make a vector vertloc equals f vector. Is that right? Now I don't want height to be a part of it. So that needs to be 0, because that's going to skew things. Is that really the... I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Multiplying by scale could be... I need the... It's basically going to be... Wait, are these negative or no? Or do they start at... They start at 0. So top left is 0, 0. Now... Do I add that plus... That divided by 2 plus... I need to add the chunk location. So I do have the world chunk location. So I need to add to get the location of this vert. The world location of this vertice. The vertex is going to be the world chunk loc.x. Something else will need to happen. That needs to be y. So I can't, because this will be the center of the chunk, and so I'll want to subtract. Yeah, I do want to subtract here, but I want to add. Copilot got half of the picture right. We'll give it credit for that. and then I multiply it by scale. I don't think I need to do that because I'm already adding the world chunk location, which has already been multiplied by scale. So I think I just need to do that. And I'll get the vert, I'll say vert world loc. And so I can take this border spline subsection, get closest, find closest, I was already using it up here. What was it called? Find closest location. Yeah. That's, just like that. Why don't you like that? It has 2 parameters. What do you need? Oh, yeah. Yes, in world space. Okay, so this will give me a vector. Closest spline location. And then I can do a float distance f vector dist between the vert world loc and closest spline loc. Yes. So I have this distance. And so I need to I know lerp isn't I need to lerp-de-derp here at some point. But essentially what I want to say is I want to, interpolate between 0 distance and, like, what I want. Here I have 0, let me put this in a comment. I have 0 to 12,000, which is max border distance. And then I have 0 the multiplier, or I have the 5. If it's 0, if it's right on the spline, I want to multiply it by 5. But if it's 12,000 away, I want it to be 0. So that's, I need to get the percentage distance, clamp it to, okay. So alpha, there we go. That's exactly what I think I fucking wanted, alpha, yeah. And, so fmath, is there a lerp? Can I get a lerp? And I'll need alpha, but what are the parameters here? A, B, and then alpha, perfect. Okay, so A, 5? Which one is 0 and which one is 5? I don't know. Hang on, let me see here. What does that even mean? Alpha ranges from 0 to 1, and it should, right? I actually think I want to do a 1 minus here. I want to flip it. Distance divided by max border distance. I want to do 1 minus, and then I want to clamp this. Yeah, and so what that'll do is, so distance divided by max border distance. If distance is greater than the max border distance, like let's say it's 24,000, it's like a chunk away or something like that, then what's going to happen is this will come out to be like 2, right? We'll clamp it down to 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Is that what I want? Yeah, that is what I want, because I want it to be 0. And so I guess I'll go 0 and then border height multiplier, and then alpha. And this will give me a value, right? It'll give me like a float, correct? Unused result, it's a float, right? Yeah, okay, float. Alpha value, so this will be like, this will be the multiplier. The multiplier value. And so if I just take noise map comment that out. Let's first copy it. Equals noise map value times multiplier value. So I can just use that. Comment that out. Okay, so yeah, and if I do it if border size is not empty, which so that'll all generate, but I'm not going to use it. This feels like a now this might be backwards. That might be backwards. But we'll see. Do I need to rebuild the engine, or can I just live? I think I might need to rebuild the engine here. Okay. What did I change in biome component header? Oh god, I touched a header file. It's gonna be mad at me. Let's just rebuild it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, let's see how good this first this first pass is at the border mountains. Dude, I'm gonna shit my pants if I got this right the first time. You have my word, chat. Okay, yeah, we can get rid of that. I thought we crashed immediately. I was like, oh shit. No crashes, but also no borders, so. Yeah, okay, so nothing there. Okay, so let's log some of these. First of all, I probably have a lot of logging already, which we can probably get rid of now. Generate map data, UMap generator. Can get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. Okay, so I guess that's just that. That's fine. Yeah, we don't need to log much in that either. Components. Yeah, it's just telling me like the number. Yeah, we can get rid of that. I don't think I need that anymore. Leave that one in there. Okay. So, nothing got applied. Nothing got applied. So what that tells me is I think I'm probably off on my calculation for the vert world location. Oh, I also did plus multiplier value. That's probably also an issue. But let's log some stuff. Okay, what do I want to log here? So I want to log, first I want to see how close this is. And then I also want to see, well, let's first log what chunk chord we're on. Okay, let's log those two things. And let's log what we think the multiplier value is here. Well, I guess let's just log all these values. Alpha. Okay, so that's gonna spit out a ton of fucking logs, I think. So that might take a while. Now we wait. Now we wait. Yeah, that's gonna spit out a lot. But I need it. I need to debug. I need information. It's not responding. It's like, please! Please, no! I can't do it anymore! Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait. Maybe this is a good time to go grab that beer. Yeah, let's go do that. I'm gonna run some ads and then grab a beer, and then maybe this will be done with my shitty ass code by the time I get back. Suspended. Okay. Dude, actually, I don't think this is gonna complete. There's so many points. There's 58,000 points in the chunk. It's not gonna complete. It's not gonna do it. I need to do something like this. If x plus y modulo fucking 1,000 equals 0, then we'll log it then. So like every 1,000, we'll do it. Yeah, then we gotta rerun the engine. Yeah. Yep. There we go. Okay. So hopefully this will go a lot faster. It's still probably going to be kind of slow. But at least it will be conceivably completable. It was completable. Okay, so what were the values, pray tell? Okay. The vert world location. Let's go to the very very first one. Chunk coordinate is just at negative 12,000. And so our vert, negative 12,000, 0. Our vert is at negative 12,120 and negative 120. I will say this world looks... Okay, so something happened. It did something. It completely flattened the borders. That's not exactly what I wanted. Ooh, oh yeah. Okay, so I did 0. It shouldn't be 0, it should be 1. Yeah. That's why. So that's one issue. Alpha was 0. Was alpha ever not 0? What was distance? Distance was 57,000. Okay. Why is that so long? Why was the distance so long? Hmm. Find closest. Find location. Return the points on the curve that is closest to that location. And the vert world location does actually seem to be quite correct. Ugh. No, it doesn't. I need to multiply that by scale. Yeah, I did need to multiply it by scale. Yeah, that needed to happen as well. Okay, so... Yeah, okay. Let's see what this does now. So this at least shouldn't be, well, it might still be completely flat. The distance, it's not completely flat. Okay, that's somewhat good, right? Borders are still not borders. Where's 0, 0? There's a 0, 0 in here somewhere. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, okay, that looks right. Okay. So... let's log the spline points, perchance. And we can do this for every chunk. Because this isn't running, yeah, this isn't running in a loop. So let's just log each point A dot get dot what position? Yeah, that's what we want. Dot toString B point B. Let's log that. Hi Moxie, hello. Okay, so our point A and B are actually quite far away. It seems. Let's look at it for, where's the 0, 0? Where's my 0, 0 chunk? You just snort at me, doggo? Can I do x equals... well, I guess I can't see the other logs if I do that. Whee! Okay, fuck it. We won't look for that. We'll just do it. Cheap viewers. Oh boy. boy. Get fucking banned, bro. Wrecked. Okay, chunk cord, negative 12,000, 12,000. Point A and B here are at negative 198,000 and 204,000. Okay, so that doesn't seem right. And I am... Get border spline for chunk cord. Yeah. Wait. Okay, yeah, maybe we do have to do that. We do have to do that. Okay, so I just get the border spline. I don't get... So, I mean, that's going to need to change because chunks can have multiple border splines. If the viewers are cheap, then who's going to spend money on bits? Yeah, I mean, it's like such a fucking, like, temporary thing, right? Like, you want, like, real viewers, right? You don't want the fake ones. Okay, so, yeah, we are passing in a border, like, this shouldn't matter for the red chunk. So let's log this closest spline location. There we go. Dot to blah blah blah. Okay. Distance. Yeah. So I'm wondering if this math might be wrong here, which is probably what it is. We'll figure that out here in a second. If this location looks correct, then I know it's my math that's wrong there. Okay, what do we got? Where's my first one that actually matters? Okay, negative 12,000, 12,000. Closest is 21,000 and 8,000. That doesn't seem totally wrong. That seems a little off, right? So let's look at chunk. Negative 12,000, 12,000 would be negative 1, negative 1. It's that one. No. That one. And so it's saying the closest point is at 12,000. It's at, not 12,000. It's at 21,000. Which is like over here. No, it's like over here. It's like over here. It's on this line somewhere. Which isn't right. It should be right there. And let's find the spline for that zone just to make sure. Yeah, okay. So I think it's finding one of those two. It says it's 21,000, negative 8,000. Yeah, so this is 24. So 21 is actually probably... Actually, it's finding a closest one in here. So yeah, that is not right. Okay, so... Huh. And I do be logging the world chunk location, right? Yeah, we logged the chunk location, so that's correct. Well, shit. Well, shit. Well, okay, so we're doing it to the closest. Yeah, so what the fuck? What the fuck? But for this one, that point looks correct. For something. Let's look for another one. Closest spline. Okay, so here's the start of another one. Negative 24,000, negative 6,000, and this would be for chunk. Oh no, wait a second. Chunk negative 24,000, negative 12,000. Okay, so for this chunk. Okay, that all looks good. The closest spline location for that chunk is 21,000, negative 15,000. Which again is somewhere in here. I said negative 50, negative 6,000. Am I getting the right spline? You need to go outside, Moxie. Yeah, okay. I hear you. Okay, can you give me a quick second? No, she says. Moxie, stop it. Stop. I know, you're so cute. I know. Moxie, okay. Chill. Hey. No. No. Give me 2 minutes, okay? God damn it. Yeah, not border spline, get rid of that. I just want to see... Moxie! It's okay, stop it! God, okay, come here. Sit right in my lap. You will sit in my lap. Are you gonna type on the keyboard? Yeah. I think you. Oh no! Press the space bar. You press the space bar. Stop that. Thank you. Okay. I need to find where my... Okay, so for 0, negative 12,000. Zero. Negative, that's that one. What was the biome that it found? 87. Is that right? Is that the right biome? No, it is not. We found our issue, and that makes sense because it kept finding points over there. Okay, so we found our issue. This little doggy wants to go outside, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'm gonna grab myself a beer, and I will be right back. We found our problem. That's good. That's good. That is a good. I'm gonna leave the biome map up here so y'all can stare at it. All right, Mister, you wanna go outside too, buddy? Okay, let's go outside, guys. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, thank you all for your patience. I now have, look what we have here. This is the beer this evening. A nice Deschutes fresh squeezed Haze-Tron super duper hazy IPA. Listen, listen, listen. Shh, quiet. Shh, 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 shh. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, nice and skunky, just how I like it. Okay, so yeah, we found our issue. My doggy is happy now, so she's nowhere near me. Yeah, so that function we had was incorrect. It was no bueno. I kind of wanted to maybe get biome, like a get biome actor function. A biome zone actor, U biome component, biome zone actor for chunk cord. Yeah. Yep, create that declaration. Public No, that one should be private. Because it's going to be used from within here. I mean, it might need to be public at some. It would be nice to have a function to get that. And so that's going to be this code. Or no, it did the code for me already. But this is incorrect, and I think I know why. Transform chunk coordinate to pixel index. I get the biome zone index map here, and I have a biome zone actors, but the only actors I'm adding are ones that are non-deferred. Ooh, but I am storing the index. Okay, so hang on. And I do pass that index. So wait, why is that wrong? Okay. Okay. This was unforeseen. Okay, yes, so I iterate over all the biomes. And I skip it if it's a biome that's been merged. Or it's a ocean. Or if it doesn't have any borders. It's all well and good. Because I still increases, and I use that I. Okay, so that's an interesting development. I didn't think I was going to be doing that correctly. Do that refactor real quick here. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, so what's wrong with this? Why can't I get the proper biome zone actor for the right chunk? Oh, because I'm getting the index of this chunk. Pixel index to biome zone index. Okay, no, that should be right. Or no, it's not. No, it's not, because those indexes don't match up. I need to... I is just... Wait, no, this should be right. It's a map of biome zone index to biome zone actor. This is a map of chunk pixel index to biome zone index. I just checked how I was setting that up, and that looked correct. So I guess that makes me believe that this transform chunk coord to pixel index isn't correct, which is weird because I use this all over the place. And I would expect way more things to be wrong if this function wasn't correct. Yeah, I mean, dude, I use this all over the place. So, what chunk coordinate am I passing in here? What is this? Coord. I mean, that's the chunk coord. Why on earth wouldn't that be correct? So we were getting the wrong goddamn biome zone actor. I want to also log this index. This is a pixel index. Is that gonna make a difference? I mean, what? Yeah, I'm not really gonna get any information there. And I like literally like get chunk biome uses the same thing, and that's working fine. Of biome zone index. And like this, if I'm not mistaken, I don't add the deferred, or not deferred, consumed biomes in here. So we add there, and then so we're adding there. Oh, is this wrong if it consumes a biome? Yeah, here's where I set it, in my merge biomes function. Yeah, I reset the merge into biome index. Where does this come from? Yeah. Merge biomes, consumed biome index, smallest neighbor index. Find smallest neighbor index should return a pixel index. Neighbor index for int in biome zone neighbors. Biome indices of neighbor biomes. So that returns a biome index. I mean, no, that's right. The pixel index is already set here. Transform chunk coordinate to pixel index. Same function we're using. And setting it to the new biome index. Oh, I'm stumped. Let's just run it again. And is it like that for everything? Was it just one that was wrong? Yeah, I need to rebuild. This is a doozy. Why is this happening? Yeah, this is adding I, which literally is the biome index. I have two closest locations logged here. Wait, am I doing this async? Are these logs going to be all out of order? But it happens all within the same async task, so yeah, but at the same time it's kicking off a bunch of other chunk coordinates, isn't it? Fuck. Okay, so what I'm gonna need what I'm going to need to do here to make sure I'm looking at the right stuff. Log the chord as well to string. And then where else would I need to log? Probably for closest spline location as well. Okay, logging the chunk coordinates. Okay. And the rest of them already have it logged, so I should be able to match them up now. Okay. Chunk cord. Wait, what is center? That should be the proper chunk coordinate. Let me look in these logs. Might be a bit easier to read. Okay, chunk 2.8 is biome zone actor 113. 2.8 should be like up here. Oh, that's negative, right? So it should be like down here. Negative 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 2.8, and it said biome zone 113, right? Yeah, biome zone actor 113. Okay, so that one was right. What the hell? Okay. Let me go back up to that, like... Okay, closest trunk chord is 480. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Chunk -1, 2. $103, is that right? That is right. That one shouldn't be trying to get it. Well, no, I guess it does it for every chunk. Never mind, never mind. Chunk 2, -1. This would be at -1, -1. Yeah, these are like the logs are all out of order. The logs are all out of order. So that's why it seemed like it was wrong when it probably wasn't. Okay, so let's try to find, we'll just look at that. So chunk -1, 0. was 103, and that is correct. Okay, so I need to add some more. I don't know why the fuck this center is so weird. Because it was logging at like 480, which is not accurate. Yeah, so God, I need to log the chunks at every single fucking one. And let's just log the world location rather than this center that's like weird. And that should be the chunk. That should be the chunk cord. Ooh, no, that's chunk position. Okay. Ooh. And chunk position is time scale. Time num square verts per chunk. Ah. Which is why I just multiply it by scale. Okay, so that's why that looks like that. That makes more sense now. And then yeah, let's just log the world chunk location for this one too. And I just need to do one more. Distance, and then this needs to be log the world chunk location dot to string. Okay. Rerun all that. We'll run it again, and then we can actually read our logs. Ah. Okay, so okay, so 0, 0. Maybe let's look for that. Yeah, -0 doesn't exist, I suppose. Ah, shit, I should have cleared those logs. Okay, hang on. That has a ton of old stuff in it. Clear. Clear. Okay, now play. Because 0, 0, it should be the same, whether it's translated to world units or not, so it'll be easy to debug down. So 103 was that we determined that was the correct biome zone. Chunk coordinate 0, 0. And the closest spline location is y -6000. That is correct, because that would be, yeah, that would be its head, the top of it, which is the correct. It is the correct. Point A, 48,000. That ain't right. That ain't right. So 48,000. Let's fly back up here and look at that chunk. So 0, 0 was right there. Yep. So it correctly found that the closest spline location was -6000. So that should actually be right on the point. Yeah, yeah. And so, but when I actually did the math to find the nearest points, that was 48,000, 12,000, which would be like 12, 24, 36, 48. It's like over here. So yeah, okay, so my math for determining the spline subsection to check is a little bit off. It's a little bit off. Oh. Distance along spline at location. Okay, so I get a distance. And I logged this at one point. And I divided the distance by the spline length, total length along this spline. So that gave me the alpha. That should be... Okay, I'm just gonna say something like if alpha greater than 1, we need to log an error. So that's an easy way to tell if the alpha is wrong. But then I take alpha times border spline, get number of spline points to get the spline index. Okay, MS Paint time. Okay, so let me shrink that a little bit so I can see that side. Okay, so I have a spline points, yes. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. And so if I get 0.5 here, I get 0.5 right here, then 0.5 times number of spline points minus 1, which is 4, times 4, that equals 2. Floor to int. So I guess there's a scenario where I need to add one to the upper bound index, if it's 2, but like, what I want is that spline, right? I wonder if I were to get find closest. What other functions do I have here? Get location at spline point. Whew. I want to get a point. So I don't think get closest, find location closest to world location doesn't really return a point. It just returns a location along the spline. So I want to turn that location into a point. This is all things for like get at points. And there's no like find point closest to location. There is find input key closest to world location. That's what this does. So wait, does that get a do that get a spline point? I just want to let's run this and see if I hit this error ever, just real quick. Just real quick. Clear those out. Yes. Do there be any red? No, there don't. Okay, so alpha is less than 1. So upper bound point should just be like, just do that, +1. What do I want to do here? I think I might want 3 points as well. Do I just get a 3rd point? But the points clearly are not... I do not understand how mobile devs do this shit. Yeah, well, they're all psychos, so... that helps a lot. What are you dealing with, E4? Get number of spline points -1. Do I not do the -1? Does that get any better? Whoa. Hey, a raid! Trade Mix, thank you, mate. Welcome you all. We're doing some procedural funness here. Let's explain what we're doing for YouTube, for our new joiners here. I hope the stream was good. So I have this world. This is the world. This is the world. Every pixel you see on this map is a single terrain chunk, right? So when I zoom out, this whole chunk right here is a pixel, and you can see my little player cursor there. Twitch said I had more viewers. I got 2. Maybe there's more coming. I got 8 viewers now, so yeah, maybe just some wonkiness, some fucksy-wucksiness on Twitch's end. But yeah, I've done a lot of work on this, so I can like scroll around here, and all these are different biomes. I've defined these biomes. I've defined the edge chunks, the border chunks, and I've defined splines for all the chunks. And I picked some points within the chunks, like that. So I've kind of walked the edges here and determined all these points and put them in the right order, which was a massive pain in the ass. It was basically a it was a leak code question that I spent like 3 days on. But yeah, I have these points now, and I want to turn this into zone borders. Am I doing C++ for this? Yes. Yes, I am. There it is, in all of its hideousness. So I'm trying to turn these splines into mountains. I had mountains working before, but I was just applying a flat fall-off map to it, so it wasn't very dynamic or anything. Thank you for the follow, mate. Appreciate that. So yeah, it wasn't very dynamic. It looked all samey, and it was very square, because every chunk just had a fall-off map applied in the direction of the neighbor. And so if you looked at it from the top, it would just be, it looks bad. It doesn't look natural or anything. So I have this, which still pretty square, but I'm just trying to get some mountains generated for it. And what I'll do eventually is I'll actually just iterate through these spline points for all of them. You can probably see some more there. And I'm just going to offset them by a random amount to kind of make the borders a little bit more dynamic and not so static and straight. So that's what I'm working on now. The specific sub-problem with that is, so each chunk has 58,000 pixels, or not pixels, vertices in it. And for every vertice, I need to determine its distance from the nearest spline section. And so what I have to do is I can't do the entire spline. I have to subsection the spline. Because if I do the entire spline for all 58,000 chunks, I can't iterate through all the points in a spline for 58,000 vertices. That's it would never run, right? It would take forever. Very, very unperformant. So I'm subsectioning the spline to just get the smallest part that the chunk cares about, which is probably going to be the nearest 3 spline points. And I found out that code is not working. What I was doing before is not working properly. So that's what we're trying to fix. How long have I been doing Unreal? For about 1.5 years, I think. I think it'll be 2 years in like November. So maybe a bit more than 1.5 years now. So yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. Why do you use spline instead of something like a height map? Great question. I was using a height map before. That's what I had working. And there is a height map applied to the terrain here. I'm using the spline to get the distance. And I'm using the spline to determine where these points are at, and I'm going to shift these points a little bit. And so the spline really is just a container for these points. And I used a spline because I wanted to see it in the world, right? I needed the debug information. And it will maintain an order, right? It will maintain the order of these points, which is important. It's very important for the borders. And so the height map is what I was doing before. It worked, but it looked bad. It looked very square. Like you could literally see the board, like you could see the chunk edges. Like the height map, it was just a flat height map, right? That was applied to it. I call it a fall off map. I just added a fall off map. The mountains didn't look great. It worked, but it didn't look great. So that's why I'm using the spline now. Is because I'm going to set up these points. Like I said, I'm going to offset them randomly, deterministically randomly, so it makes sense with the seed. And then I'm going to use each vertice's distance away from that spline up to a maximum amount to determine how much to multiply it up to get a mountain. I attempted terrain generation with marching cubes, but I failed miserably because I'm new to Unreal. So hopefully over time I can gain the skills and experience to try again. Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you there for sure. Like, whenever I started learning Unreal, you know, 1.5 years ago, however long it was, I was learning Unreal, I was learning C++, and I was learning procedural generation. I did that all at once. Terrible idea. It took me months. And I was using Visual Studio, so that just made everything worse, right? But the things that I'm doing now are things that, like, it's like insane to me, like that I'm capable of doing this and that it makes sense to me. I'm using Rider, yes I am. So I definitely feel you'll get there. You just got to work with it. You know, you just got to keep going and doing different kind of noises and stuff like that. Like this whole world map is a noise map, right? And I actually was able to generate this from a material. Here it is. Here's that material. And what I do is I sample. I get a random offset in here, based on a seed. And you know, for every seed, you know, that's what it comes up with. And then I use these. Like the black is the oceans, and then I'll eventually use the darkness and lightness for altitude and chunks. I haven't done that yet, but that's coming. And then I take, you can't see it, but I take a Voronoi map, a different one that I generate in memory, a Voronoi map. It's of Voronoi cells, not necessarily, like this is a Voronoi noise. It's not, it's like a ton of Voronoi cells put on top of each other. But these are all Voronoi cells. And then I go through and assign them random colors, each cell. and that'll connect them, right? So this one right here was actually many different Voronoi cells, and it connected them all to the same color. And then I just went through and assigned every color on the map to the corresponding Voronoi cell's color. And so these are going to be different biomes, different zones. And then I colored my terrain based on it just for debugging. My terrain looks a lot better than this. I promise. But I'm just using this so I can debug and see some information here. Marching cubes are also tough in their own right, especially using a new engine. Yeah, I mean, I think any part of procedural generation is tough. It's really tough when you're in a new engine, in a new environment, in a new language, whatever it is. I tried challenging myself, which wasn't a great idea for how new I was. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I spent like 2 months on the first iteration of my height map terrain, and it was a slog. I don't recommend it. I came from Unity, but it became a pain after a while. Yeah, I actually followed a tutorial for my height map. It was a Unity one. Let me actually see if I can find that. It was really helpful for me, so I'll link it for you. Sebastian Leg, yeah, he broke everything. It's a series, right? Sebastian, yeah, Sebastian Leg. That was his videos. Landmass, procedural terrain generation. Whoops. Okay, so here's the introduction. There you go. There's the introduction video. That's what I followed when I first started. And, you know, I stopped following that tutorial a certain way through because I did a lot of work to translate everything he was doing in Unity to Unreal. And my code was a shit show. I was doing nothing correct because I didn't know how actors or components and shit like that worked and how you should be doing it. And I was trying to follow his... because in Unity you just have game objects, right? And he just kind of puts everything in a separate game object. But in Unreal, it's more hierarchical, I guess. It's a bit more hierarchical. So I kind of stopped following it after a while because it stopped applying. I don't know how far I got through it, but oh, you already watched them all. He's the best. Nice. Glad to hear I'm not the only one that loves this stuff. So yeah. That's what we're working on. That's what this project's about. I got some other stuff working. I got some fun stuff like I got AI generated characters, character personalities, and then you can walk up to a colonist in the world and you can like generate a quest, and it sends an API request to the Gemini AI API, and it'll generate a quest, and it gives me a JSON response. I deserialize that JSON, and I can actually spawn things in the world based on that. So that's pretty cool. What else do I have? I have some abilities here. I've got building. I can build some things as well. Still look really weird, but yeah. You build there. Build that. Give it a nice little door. Some stairs maybe. And then I can procedurally chop trees. And so if I look here, very proud of this. Let me turn off the render. Oh my god. So that you see why that one's different. I actually transformed it into, these are all static meshes, right? All these trees. And then I transformed the static mesh into a dynamic mesh and then did a Boolean subtraction based on the, I'll show you the collision that I put on this axe. So whenever this smaller triangle comes in contact with the tree, I subtract this larger triangle from it. And so if I chop a few more times, it'll fall over. Boom, there it goes. Now the physics are perfect, so don't question that. And now I got some wood. I got some wood in my inventory, and some of these, you know, some of this, like this requires 100 wood, so I'll apply my wood. I've got put my 8 wood in there. So yeah. So your project is basically all procedurally generated. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, I'm no artist at all. I'm terrible at materials. I am absolutely terrible at anything when it comes to art. And I'll show you my Where is it now? Check this material out. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Look how awesome it is. So yeah, I'm trying to play to my strengths as a programmer. So I'm trying to do as much procedural stuff as I can, because that's things I can actually do. I don't know how to chop up a static mesh into you know, different sections and stuff. I can do that with code very well, but using something like Blender is beyond me. So this is procedurally amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Oh, and I also have, let's see here, my pickaxe. So this terrain looked a lot better before I applied the color to it, but this should, hello, please. Did I break this? There we go. There we go. So you can deform the terrain as well. Boom. And yeah, I need to get rid of the foliage. And this is what like this animation. If I can get out of this hole. This animation is what happens when I try to do things that aren't code. Look at that. Yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to do things very procedural. Very procedural. So yeah, the way I'm determining I need to log some more information here. The alpha was never over 1, so the alpha that I'm doing, let me look at this, is actually maybe correct, actually maybe. Let me log the alpha. So the alpha is more so, it's the percentage across the spline. And I need to put my world chunk location in here, because this is all happening async, so it's all out of order. So I need the key basically to associate all this stuff to. World chunk location, yes, alpha, we'll log the alpha, and so I should be able to use that in combination. And you know what, why not just get the distance as well? The distance along the curve. Okay, a little bit of extra information here. Let's see if we can use this to determine why the points of the spline that I'm getting are not correct. Turn off the collision rendering there. Okay, so we're querying. This is the one we're querying, basically. I say querying. Oh shit, I didn't. Okay, well this should be good. So, point 1. Okay, so the alpha is 0.1. The points I end up getting are not great. Okay, so the distance along is 53,000. Okay, so let me click on it. So keep that chunk in your head. This one right there. Okay, I've got to click on something else. Boom. Okay, so the starting spline point is that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I should be getting like indexes 5. Maybe I should log the indexes too. I should be getting indexes like 5 and 6 or 4 and 5. Something like that. Hi Moxie. So let's clear our logs out. Clear, rerun that. Oh, my doggy just wants so much attention. He just wants so much attention. Alright, thank you, Moxie. I'm gonna wait to chat. Hello. Thank you, Speed. Do you want to sit in the puppy bed? There she goes. She's tenderizing it. She's getting it ready. Like, is this good enough for me? Look at that. She's gonna walk right out of it. Is that good? Yep. Yep, there she goes. She's like, ah, I don't like it. Okay, so, logs. I did get 5 and 6. Okay, so why? I did get 5 and 6. That seems right. Why are the locations so far off from what I'm expecting? So 0, select first point. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so that's... I'll keep the tab open. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. Cool project going on. Hope to see it go far. Me as well. And I'll have to check out your stream sometime whenever you're streaming. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. Yeah, if anyone, Train Mix, if you have any questions about procedural generation or anything in Unreal, I'm happy to explain what I've got going on in here. If you need some like starting points or something for like maybe walking cubes or whatever you were trying to do. So yeah, always happy to answer questions and stuff. Ah, little cheeky sip of beer right there. Okay, so we got 5 and 6. But these points, these aren't right. They're not right. It ain't right. I got notifications that need to fucking go away on my phone. Girlfriends, am I right? I'm about to start a new project with a friend on Unreal. I'll definitely come stop by. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. If you're not too busy, what is your new project? Yeah, so 60,000, that's not right. 60,000 is not the 6th point. And so where is 60? So the 5th point is 48,000, 12,000. Wait, let me make sure that we're still getting the... It is biome zone actor 103. Distance is 53,000 out. I mean, we got the right indexes. Ooh, a restaurant. I love simulator games. I love simulator games. I had an idea. I was getting Chick-fil-A one day with my girlfriend, and you know, Chick-fil-A's are busy as fuck everywhere, right? And the Chick-fil-A where I'm at, it oftentimes has, you know, it's got the 2 drive-through lines, and it's got lines like just out into the fucking shopping center that it's in, right? Just like completely fucking up traffic and stuff. But goddamn, do they process those fucking orders, right? And they got the people outside. They got like 8 people outside, you know, taking people's orders and ushering them along and putting them in the right order. I was like, bro, there should be a drive-through simulator game, like a fast food drive-through, and like you could actually like build the parking lot and the drive-throughs, like, you know, your upgrades would be like, oh, get a second lane, and like you would hire the people, and you know, maybe you could lobby the local government to change some of the roads around you to like better facilitate traffic and stuff like that. I don't know, I just thought it was crazy like how well ran that Chick-fil-A was in comparison to like, you know, if a different fast food place had that much customers, they would just shit their pants, you know. But no, they just say my pleasure and carry on. You got 5 Chick-fil-A's in your city? Goddamn, where do you live? Like fucking Luxembourg? Fucking rich guy up in here, Jesus. Yeah, okay, so I wanted to find out where is 48,000, 12,000. And so this chunk is at 0, 0, 12,000. I needed 48,000, so 48,000 would be here, 12,000. So it's fine. It's getting this index right here, the index of that one. I mean, that's just the chunk location. That's not even the location of the... Neither of these points... Neither of these points are actually in that location. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it's relative. World. Okay, yeah. 48,000. What, let me... Growing city in Central Texas, building are being built from everyone moving here. Yeah. Y'all got that land down there in Texas, huh? Y'all got that land in Texas. Yeah, the Chick-fil-A is like 20 minutes away from me, so it's kind of it's a bit of a treat if I truck out that far to get Chick-fil-A. Input key is 5, input key is 6. Okay, so why is that getting the wrong one? Get spline point at. Is there something I don't understand about splines? Get input key. I need like get spline point. How do I get a spline point index? Let me, I guess, okay, Google, come help me. No, my phone was like, I'm here. Not gonna find index of spline point. Yeah. Yeah. You have to iterate over the spline points. This is from 2019 though. I don't know how much I trust that. For how long ago, for each year ago it was, my trust dwindles. 2019, that's 5 years ago. 2019 was 5 years ago? Jesus Christ, I'm fucking old. Make me feel old. Yeah, hey, if I have to feel old, you do too. Now have a beer and chill out. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should just iterate over the spline points myself. Because I'm already doing that. Cheers. Cheers indeed. Do you want some doggy beer? She's such a little chunker though, she'll eat anything. She's 8 pounds, but she'll fucking... What? You just want attention. Stop it. At least sit on stream. If you're gonna be rude, you gotta show up on stream. Give me some shameless viewer engagement. Yeah. Is Daddy using you for shameless viewer engagement? Yeah, I know. Moxie, okay, enough. Yeah, so I think I just need to iterate through the points myself. And I'll be getting off soon. Because I'm pretty sure this function already does it. Would already find nearest. Yep, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I think I should just... Yeah, because then it would be easy. I'll find like the 3 nearest points. And use those. And I won't have to do all this weird math. It'll probably be easier to understand too. So let me do... for I in border spline get number of spline segments. Why would someone need that? I mean, it's weird they have that function but not others. Okay, so border spline get spline point at I in world space, please. E spline coordinate space world, yes. Okay, F spline point. Spline point. Okay, so now that I have this spline point, what I want is... I need another array of F spline points. Closest spline points. And I suppose I only want 3 of these. I want the closest 3. So I'll need to do another for I. Instead we're going to call it J, of course. Closest spline points. Num. And then I need to do if closest spline points dot num, or not num, is empty. Then I'll just add this point to closest spline points. I want the nearest 3. Closest 3 spline points. Or rather, it should be if dot num less than or equal to, no, less than 3. If it's less than 3, we add it. And we will continue and skip that loop. Okay, so now that we have 3 in our list there, I need to iterate through each one. Let's say close spline point. If let's do a variable for distance. Yep, there we go. That's what I want. World. Yeah. That's what I want. If float distance to the current spline point, cur point distance to close point distance is less than close point distance, then we want that one. Then closest 3 spline points at J equals spline point. And then we can break out of that loop. And by the end, we should have the closest 3. And it should be in order. Will this be in order? I think it would. Would this maintain the spline order? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Okay, I need to do a little bit different here because I could overwrite. Yeah, I need to iterate through the whole thing and replace the farthest one that's away. I need to do like a find farthest point. So let's iterate through, let's do this. In 32, farthest point index. Rather than spline point closest 3 at that index. And then rather than doing that, we will set current farthest, we'll call that. Oh dear. There we go. Okay. So now that I have the farthest point index, I can do if closest point index at that farthest point equals spline point. Okay, Copilot, save me here. Come on, you can do it. F vector distance. You know what to do. Come on, come on, you can do it. What? Are you serious? You don't know what to do here? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I feel like, what are your all's experience with GitHub Copilot? How good is it in non-game dev stuff? Because like I feel like it's not great at doing game dev things. It's okay at like, whenever I'm doing a non-game dev thing that's like an algorithm type thing or just like a code type thing, it does a decent job. But guys, get out of here. I know. Go on, go on and get. Go on and get. Not great. Interesting. Okay. What language do you use it for? Because like the one we have internally at Google is very good. It's the best that I've seen, but I've only ever used GitHub Copilot for game dev. So you still have to be careful and debug a lot of its issues. I mean, is it still super helpful though? I guess maybe the one at Google is like literally trained on Google code, so like I mean it'll do entire functions and shit for you, which is like sometimes it's scary. You used it for C++, JS, React, Flutter, Python. Okay, so you've used it a lot. I mean, it's better than nothing though, right? It's better than not having it. Like that was nice, right? It typed this out. That was nice. I'll take that. I'll pay $20 a month for that kind of shit. But like, if I had how good the internal Google one was for game dev stuff, like if it knew Unreal very well, which I don't think it does, Copilot does. Like at the level that Google understands like Dart and Java, it would be great. It's amazing. Like I've had it do whole refat. Like we have this thing you can right click. They call it Ducky. It's called Ducky, and you just say transform code, and you can just like highlight something and like transform it And I've highlighted a whole file and had it do an entire refactor for me. It was insane. And the only reason I had to change things was because it refactored too well and did things that weren't exposed yet from another class that I was planning on exposing anyway. So it's been pretty crazy. Especially if you're stuck, it will set you on the right track or something. Yeah, it's better than not having anything. If you're asking if it's worth the money, IMO, it is. That's why I have it. Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, I guess there's no alternative, right? It's GitHub. I mean, I'm sure there are alternatives, but it's just like, because Ryder and JetBrains, they have their own like AI coding assistant, and I was debating on should I just do the GitHub Copilot plugin or should I do that one? And I'm like, there's no way the JetBrains one isn't just using OpenAI under the hood, right? So use Devin. Yeah, I mean, wasn't that just a fucking sham? I remember hearing news about that. Like, everyone's like, and then that fucking NVIDIA CEO guy was all like, yeah, no one should learn to code anymore. I'm like, yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah, is that Devin company? Did anything ever come from that? I never followed up on it. I just remember, like, I remember hearing that the demo was a sham. But then again, Google has done plenty of demos that were shams, so maybe that's not a great constructive criticism. Like, what's the max Copilot will generate for you? Is it just a few lines? You can use Copilot in the software you're using? Yeah, there's a plugin. Yeah. We're plugin. GitHub Copilot. Yep. Copilot will go off? Okay. In my Discord. You don't make me laugh. I don't have a fucking Discord. Yeah, I mean, I've prompted it a bit, but I mean like inline. How much inline will it generate? Because like, I mean, this is fine, right? I mean, it'll generate a good chunk here, but like, I've rarely. I guess it has generated this much for me sometimes. But I don't know that I've seen it generate more than this inline. Whereas like the one we have internally at Google, it's generated a whole file for me before. Okay, but back to the original problem. I'll be getting off soon. My girlfriend just got home, so I think what I want to do. One last thing. Tim Kaine. I want to watch a Tim Kaine video before we hop off. Game design time. We're going to talk game design a little bit. Okay. What game design, game flavor? I watched that one the other day. You've had to do 60 to 80 lines when prompt correctly. And it has info. So when you say prompt, are you prompting it from like some UI, or it's like you're doing? Because I just mean like. I guess I don't know what I mean, but yeah, I guess I need to use it more. I don't do anything outside of work other than game dev, so I don't have anything. Personality roleplay. Number of vaults in Fallout. I would be interested in watching that. Prompting from a comment, or it prompts itself off of what you're already doing. Yeah. Unused GDC road trip presentation. Interesting. That's too long for me though. 20 minutes. So you want to make games. Writing good NPCs. I want something super game devy. Development time. That's a 30-minute long one, though. Games as actions. Favorite chocolate. Using mechanics for storytelling. That sounds nice. Let's do that one. Ads.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Today I want to talk about using mechanics for storytelling.
Okay.
And this is an answer to a question by Benjamin Nonk 11. Can you talk about gameplay mechanics as storytelling devices? By that I mean where a gameplay mechanic is directly reinforcing a character's connection with the setting or the story. So,
Okay.
Benjamin, I love this question.
I like it too. It's an
the main
interesting
reason
question.
I like to do mechanics after deciding the setting and story, because I think mechanics should support those. Did a video about people who do mechanics first. You can totally do that. And then, of course, you make a setting and a story that supports your mechanics. I go the other way. You might consider this video. I did another video called Gameplay's Influence on Story. So you might want to watch that one too. I'll link it below. You can consider this a companion video, so I'm even wearing the same shirt. As far as using mechanics to support storytelling, this is something I've always wanted to do. It just makes sense. I mean, every tabletop game I've
still
ever
interested
played,
to know
the
what
mechanics
exactly
exist
an example
there
of this
so
would be.
that the DM can make up certain stories. You know, they know your spells exist, so that's why there are NPC wizards and you know there are dragons. It's like you know these things exist and you use them in your story. So I've always wanted to do this in all of my games, where I was responsible for creating a lot of it.
So this would be like something like in something like, let's take Baldur's Gate for an example. So an example of this would be something like you have some mechanic to maybe a mage has some mechanic to detect invisibility, and when you can detect things that are invisible, you detect something that furthers the mage's storyline, I guess, would be an example of this.
But I didn't always do it to the same extent, and some games didn't do it as much as I wanted. So let me walk through a few of them where I did it a bit, and then I'll talk about the one I think did it the best. So Fallout, OG, it did radiation mechanics, and one thing that radiation mechanics in that game were intended to support was that, hey, radiation is bad, it's deadly, and it's everywhere.
Is that storytelling,
and
though, or is that just flavor?
Messed up because
that seems like flavor.
That's why
me.
Places like the Glow were deadly. They were supposed to be deadly, and you were warned about it. In fact, when the Brotherhood sends you there, they don't expect you to come back, because everybody who goes there dies. And when you go there, when you arrive at that giant hole in the ground, what do you see? A dead body. So the Glow was supposed to be deadly. Radiation was supposed to hurt you. Was supposed to, and it's supposed to be that silent killer. So sometimes you got radiation, and then you started doing fast travel and fell over dead. Yes, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yes.
Could we have made the UI give feedback better? Yes, and we should have. But the point is, radiation is supposed to be bad and deadly, and something you're always worried about, because it's part of Fallout's setting. When I did Temple of Elemental Evil, and that was based on D&D 3.5, one thing I added on top of all those rules was party alignment, which meant, because you were making a whole party of characters that you controlled, I didn't want you to do things like, here's a paladin and an assassin, or here's a lawful good monk with a chaotic evil bard.
Yeah.
I wanted it to make sense.
Yeah, that's having things make sense is like definitely counterintuitive to letting the player do whatever they want, right? Like today, I feel like today's day and age, players want to just be able to have their cake and eat it too. And like in a game like Baldur's Gate, another example, like they just let you change your class whenever. And I'm like, whenever I saw them add that, I was like, what? I get like respecing a class, I get that more, but like you can literally straight up change from like a druid to a monk whenever the fuck you want to. And it's like, to me, that doesn't make sense. And furthermore, in Baldur's Gate, like, I guess you can make enough. You do certain things in the game where like different characters approve and disapprove, and to me, some of those things that you do, like it just doesn't make sense for that character to even follow you anymore. You know what I mean? It's like a character is like, oh, we need to do this. I need to go here. Like, I need to go do this thing for myself. And you're just like, oh, yeah, we'll do that. And you never fucking do. Or you tell them no, and they still stick around and follow you. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But it does let the player do whatever they want. And still, like, they can have their cake, which is having that companion. And they can eat it too, which is mean they don't have to do what that companion wants. And so I get what he's saying here when he says he wants it to make sense. Like, he doesn't want a paladin and an assassin to travel together. Because, yeah, why would a fucking righteous paladin travel with an assassin unless they were like a evil alignment paladin, right? So, yeah, I get that, is what I'm trying to say.
Party should make sense. And I added party alignment, meaning you had to pick an alignment, and everyone in the party had to be one step away from it. So you either were up in the corner, or you were one side plus neutral, or one side plus neutral, or you were neutral, and then you could be all the neutral ones.
It's really good flavor
for neutral, neutral good, chaotic neutral. It basically meant the party made sense, and it used alignment as sort of a mechanic to justify the story that was going to unfold with this particular party. And of course, I don't need to mention that Bloodlines, and I'm pretty sure, this is from the game itself, the tabletop game, but Bloodlines constantly reminded you that you were a vampire because you needed to feed, and that affected your humanity, but you needed to do it. this was something that the game reinforced. I love games that do this. Of all my games, I think the one that did it the best was Arcanum.
But then like for a vampire game, like you can either just like you can feed on an like there's multiple levels to feeding for a vampire, right? You can feed on someone that doesn't consent. That's like the worst level, right? That's like the lowest level of humanity. Or you can feed on someone who consents to it. That's like still kind of fucking weird and fucked up, but like they consent, so it's okay. And I guess like higher than that, it's like you can feed on, or maybe like you use blood bags or something from like, so you don't feed directly on people, but you do drink their blood from like a blood bag or something, like a harvested blood, right? You harvest the blood a different way, and then like the one that like all the TV shows do is like you do like animals, you feed off of animals rather than people, right? Like there are different levels to that. That's good flavor too. I like that.
Arcanum was all about the antagonistic tension between magic and tech. It was everywhere. It was in the setting. It was in the story we were telling. It was in the mechanics. Whole groups fought, tech groups versus magic groups. This fight had gone on a long time. There had been a previous war on it, and tech was winning until they didn't. And it was happening again. This was sort of considered to be like Arcanum's perennial, battle. It was magic versus tech. It was built in. It was baked into the setting, and it was baked into the story. So we wanted it baked into the mechanics. So that's why there was the magic tech meter. And every time you bought a spell or a particular skill, that magic tech meter moved, and then that magic tech meter affected every time you used a magic spell or a tech skill, because that's what it was there for.
I really like exclusivity in games. I like it when games prevent you from doing things. Is that weird? Like, I'm in the minority here, I know. Like I said before, today's day and age, gamers want to be able to do... They want both. They want the magic and the tech. They want to min-max that. They want both. I want it. But like, when Baldur's Gate introduced, like, you can switch class whenever, like, I was just like, oh my god, now I can experience every class in the same playthrough. Like, it doesn't give me as much a reason to play another playthrough or something like that. So I hate when game, like, it takes away the meaningful choice in a game, right? Especially if you're picking skills. Like, if you pick a skill and it's too easy to go back on that choice, it's not even a choice. You might as well not even make it a choice at that point, right? But like today's gamers, I feel like they want that like immediately.
It was there to remind you that's what this world is about. So the player had this constantly coming at him through the gameplay mechanics, and I think this is a good thing, and I think better games do this. If you don't do this, then you run the risk of your game causing something called ludonarrative dissonance.
What?
Clint Hawking, I think he invented this term, but he was certainly the first one to use it.
Wait, hang on, say that again, Tim.
Then you run the risk of your game causing something called ludonarrative dissonance.
What?
Clint Hawking, I think he invented this term, but he was certainly the first one to use it. He described Bioshock that way. Now, I love Bioshock, but he's not wrong that the narrative talks about how the player should be selfless, but then everything about the mechanics forces you to be selfish. You want to kill the little sisters because they have something you want. You want to choose certain people to
Aren't the little sisters like monsters?
promote because it's good for you. So some people can view that as there's a tension between selflessness and selfishness, and maybe that's the whole point of the game. But it does it in a way that the story says entirely one thing, and the game mechanics, the gameplay mechanics, are saying another. Where I think a better way to do it
Bioshock
is
well enough.
the world shows both, the story shows both, and the
I wonder if
mechanics
that was intentional
constantly
by the
reinforce
Bioshock devs.
that tension. That you have decisions to make when you're making your character or when you're acting.
I like how BG3's respec system pushes the boundaries with what is possible. There are challenge runs of that game that would not be doable without it. So do you mean like multi-classing? Is that what you're talking about there, Phoenix? Or are you just talking about like changing your spec based off of what like the upcoming fight is, and that way you can like min-max the fight and get like some sort of a challenge or achievement or something? I just think it just harms replayability, right? And I get more respecking in Baldur's Gate, but changing your class entirely, like, and that also kind of makes companions a little more irrelevant, right? If you can be whatever class you want to at any point in the game, you know, you don't have to pick your companions as carefully. I don't know. Maybe the challenges can be more challenging.
And those affect the world. So it's really bad if the story and setting shows/tells one thing, and then the gameplay is telling you something different. And the reason you want to avoid this ludonarrative dissonance is it will make some players dislike your game, even if they don't know exactly why. And
Just
that's
because it
something
doesn't feel like it makes sense, I guess.
a really bad thing.
It doesn't
to
feel like
happen
they fit in the world,
to you
I
as a
suppose,
game
at that
designer, where you're putting something in the game that will hit the player sometimes on a subconscious level. Some players are conscious of it and go, "Oh, I hate this." The game, the narrative told me one thing, but the mechanics are telling me another. Others just make the game makes them feel off. This can happen if you have a UI with a lot of friction points on it, and then people get frustrated at the game, and they're even think maybe you have bad mechanics or I hate this game, but really what it is the controls or the responses or the feedback you get in the user interface for some part of the UX is causing friction, and it just bothers the player.
Changing spec each fight. People have beaten the game by only throwing underwear at the opponents. Wait, and that has something to do with respecking in Baldur's Gate? You know, I'm only I'm an Act 2 Andy in Baldur's Gate. I've only made it through Act 2. I think I burned myself out on Baldur's Gate because I literally check every single fucking box because I'm such a goddamn loot goblin. I can't help myself. Like, every goddamn poop-stained basket I have to check, and I know there's just rotten eggs in there. I know it's just rotten eggs, but I have to check. And I feel like that kind of burned me out on it a little bit. So maybe Act 3 is harder, but like I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and it's not that difficult to me. And I you know, I'm very, very tactician oriented. Like, I love strategy games like Civilization and RimWorld and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm probably better than the average Baldur's Gate player at it. Underwear doesn't do damage, so it's very hard to beat the game with it. So wait, how the hell do you do damage with it then? How do you beat the game like that? And is that a challenge? Do you get that challenge? What I'm trying to say though is, like, if you're playing the game normally, even on the hardest difficulty, it doesn't seem that, like, I've definitely lost fights in Baldur's Gate 3, but like I always win the second time because I know what to expect. The only reason I lost it the first time is because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know which characters had which spells and stuff like that, you know? which ones are the highest threats and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe it gets harder in Act 3 that I don't really know about.
Some people have told me, and I have to take their word on it, that some games from their color palette alone can turn off the player.
Aesthetics
and
is
sometimes
good
the
for
players
me.
realize, they're like, I find this color palette horrible. But
The color palette's a little too niche for me. I do hate like I love medieval fantasy type games. I don't quite as love sci-fi games, you know, but I'll still play them if they're good. You can get items that make underwear inflict status conditions that do damage with enough stacks. But see, I mean, this is the lengths people go through to make the game challenging. To me, that's an indication of it being too easy and being too free and not restrictive enough. Because if it was more restrictive, the challenge wouldn't be throwing underwear. Like, what other fucking game has that? Like, that's hilarious, and I love that. But like, what other fucking game needs to go to that length to have a challenge that's like unbeat, you know, only beatable by the 1% or something? Like, that might just, like, in a different game, you know, if Baldur's Gate was a different way, that might just be like, you know, beating the game without level ups or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. To me, that's an indication that it could be more difficult.
others, they don't realize it. They just play the game, don't like it. And then later on blame things like, well, it had a story I didn't get into, or I didn't like the mechanics. When really it was the color palette was making them feel grossed out or nauseous
How do you know that about these people?
So, what am I trying to say? I think that game mechanics are a huge way of supporting the story you're trying to tell and the setting you're trying to tell it in. I don't think enough games do this. I think some of my games didn't do this enough, but I always tried to do it, and I think it's a really good way for you to approach doing your mechanics. So I hope, Benjamin Knock 11, that this answers your question.
That's a good video. I like that one. I mean, basically the key takeaway there is just to like make sure your mechanics aren't the fucking opposite of what your story is trying to say. I wish I knew more about BioShock so I could understand that point a little better. I don't know. Is anyone a big BioShock fan in the chat that can explain to me what the story is telling you to be selfless, but then you're being selfish in your actions? I see what you mean, and the difficulty was very low for me as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm glad I'm not alone. I feel a little elitist saying that, so I'm glad I'm not alone. I think I'm just too much of a min-maxer and wouldn't like lowering the power level. I prefer making obstacles stronger and keeping the player strong. I think that leads to power creep, and I think you have to keep that in check for games, especially if you want the game to have longevity. Like, that's fun when it comes to games that are like, you know, like the Survivor type games. The more arcadey a game is, the more I think that's okay to get away with. But in a game like Baldur's Gate, or say, you know, an MMO, especially an MMO, because MMOs are live service games, in these games that where like the journey and the story is like a big part of it, I think the power creep, you got to keep that under check. Like, you definitely need to give the player moments to feel awesome and powerful, but you can't just let it keep getting out of control, or else you're gonna be like a literal god slayer, you know, fighting fucking farm peasants or some shit, you know, and it'll just make it not make sense. But there's definitely, you said a point about, I think I'm just too much of a min-maxer and wouldn't like lowering the power level. I mean, you just have to think of a world where the power level wasn't raised to begin with. It wouldn't be lowering in that. And like, if you keep it contained, then that means you can raise the power level more times, right? More throughout the game. If you keep it contained. If you do smaller power level jumps, I guess is what I'm saying, you can do that more. And so it wouldn't, you know, in an alternate universe, it wouldn't feel like the power level is lowered. It just feels like Baldur's Gate, right? It just feels like a different kind of Baldur's Gate. But yeah, I mean, especially in games like MMOs, right? Like World of Warcraft is one that, I mean, that's like textbook power creep, right? Like, how many times have we defeated gods in the World of Warcraft expansion, and yet they have to find ways to take away that power every goddamn expansion to make it make sense? Like, there was just no longevity in the power creep. And I think that's why people love classics so much. It's because it's humble. You can't have your cake and eat it too in Classic. You can't do that. And like, yeah, you do actually kill a god in Classic with Cthulhu in the AQ raid, Anchorage raid. But that's literally the second to last raid in that expansion. So that's how long. And it's 60. You got to level up 60 times to get there. So I mean, an average player will get to 60 in 10 days playtime, which is fucking hundreds of hours. Hundreds of hours of playtime before you get there. I think I might have a different perspective because I usually play competitive PvP games where I definitely dislike power creep. And when I play PvE games, I'm looking to feel super strong. Yeah, I'm not... I guess I'm just saying the... like, you can still feel strong over things in a Baldur's Gate that is more restrictive on what you can do. Right? And being more restrictive on what you can do can make the game more difficult without even changing any of the numbers, right? And so you don't even necessarily need to lower the power directly. You lower it indirectly by just making it more restrictive. And so there are still going to be moments in Baldur's Gate where you feel powerful, but you're not going to be able to change your class and spec, every party member's class and spec to the exact perfect thing every fight, right? Like that, to me, that seems like a bad play pattern because that's so tedious, and I don't want the player to have to go through something like that to feel powerful and to feel like they can beat a given encounter. I would rather be more restrictive, and I mean, maybe it is tuning the encounter a little bit, but honestly, I don't think the encounters need to be tuned at all. I just think you need to be more restrictive on the stuff, and it would make the difficulty, I mean, if anything, the encounters need to be tuned up. But, especially on the harder, but that's why there's difficulties, right? If you want to feel powerful, you know, set it to a difficulty lower, I guess. Totally respect coming from the opposite side, though. I definitely get the mindset, and it's a very Blizzard mindset. It's like, you know, if it can be epic, make it more epic, right? Make it as epic as possible. Make everything as awesome as possible. I get that mindset, and I think different types of games can get away with more of that. But like for a game where you want like a long journey and stuff like that, and you know, it's not just some like, you know, 30-minute match in and out type thing, or like, you know, some Vampire Survivors type game, or some like arcadey type game. I think doing something where you kind of make things shitty on purpose to make the good things feel good, to make the powerful moments feel powerful, and not just like another tiny drop in the dopamine bucket, to make those feel like a glass full of dopamine in the dopamine bucket. I think that has a better outcome. That's my take on that. I see what you mean. You can still have the same strength with restrictions. I wonder if that's what they were going for with the no save scumming when they added auto mode. I mean, I think that's definitely what they were doing, right? I think that's definitely what they were doing. Yeah. I mean, that just being more restrictive and how you can get through dialogue checks makes those dialogue checks more impactful. What I wish though, I wish honor mode was the default in what the game launched with, and then the alternative, which is save scum as much as you want. I wish that mode got released, you know, later. Because then the game just gets figured out so easy. You know, especially in today's day and age with like the internet and like guides and all that shit. Like, I think, yeah, being more restrictive at first and then opening it up would have been my move. And yeah, there would be a host of people who would bitch and moan about that. But you know what those people would do? They would probably play the game a second time rather than the first time. And it's more, to me, it's more random. Like, to me, if you can give a game a more different playthrough each time by doing something as simple as like disallowing save scumming, I think you should do it. And that's why I love playing RimWorld on commitment mode, where you can't save scum. I've only ever played it on commitment mode, I had a friend who plays similar games as me. He started that way, and then he switched to like the save scum RimWorld mode. He beat the game and he never played it again because he saw, you know, I don't play RimWorld to get to the end. I play RimWorld for the journey to get to the end. As soon as I can see like my victory condition, I stop that colony. Same with Civ. Same with Civilization. As soon as I can see the finish line, I'm like, yeah, I know it. I get it. I'm gonna start a new game because I want something different now. I know where this is going and stuff like that. But yeah. Overall, though, my opinion on PvE games is that people will impose their own restrictions if they think the game is too easy. I like to do challenge runs in my additional playthroughs. I can totally understand the perspective of enforcing those restrictions being beneficial for many players. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. You know, there's not a right or wrong way to do it, right? It's not like it's a bad game design. I do think, like, if you make a game in a way to where players feel like they have to change every spec and class of every character in their party before every single fight, like, that's extreme. I think that's a bad play pattern and could use some tweaking. But the concept that you're sharing, Phoenix, is definitely not like a bad one at all. It's just the other side of the coin, right? To me, there's not a whole lot of good, inherently good or bad game design decisions, right? It's all about execution. But yeah, with that, I am going to get off for the night. It's 10:30 where I'm at, so I'm quite sleepy, and I'm gonna go spend some time with my girlfriend before bed. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll definitely be on tomorrow for a good while to finish my border chunks. There they are. Didn't get as far as I wanted tonight, but that's okay. We'll knock it out tomorrow. But yeah, thank you all, and good night.